What is going on? I'm Adam Fraser, your host of the River Run, and I thank you for coming on down. I am super excited to be back in the studio. I feel like I've been everywhere. I'll be honest with you. I was down in New York State for a bit, doing some Battlefish University Top Guide with some U.S. veterans. It was really cool. Super fun. And at the same time, we had the Chio event, which I'll be honest with you, I was really blown away. Like, there was so much positivity that day. It was loads of fun. So many great people that I got to see. Loads of friends I don't usually get to see all that much. It's like the one time a year where we all get together. So yeah, $42,000 for Chio. One door for care. Like, that's awesome. Like, way to go, everybody who supported the event, whether you donated, whether you helped out, you came out and fished. Like, you came out to fish for Chio. Yeah, no. So honestly, seriously, everybody, awesome job, fantastic. I am super pumped. On the next little event that I got to do too was Fishing for Autism in Alexandria, Ontario. Katie O'Connor, she is in my town of Cornwall, and I've volunteered now 3 years. It's super fun, and man, the kids are awesome. Like, it is so much fun to be there, be in it with so many different families. You hear the stories, you just, and I gotta give it to these parents. Like, I do feel very blessed, with my family and whatnot. But I could imagine if I was in their shoes, how I would feel, how the challenges every day, and just shedding light on autism as a whole and its acceptance and whatnot. Those parents are they're superheroes for those kids, and those kids are fantastic. I had some pretty cool moments where actually a couple of them had said "Oh, I remember you from last year," or I had a couple of them even give me hugs. I'll be honest with you, doing just those little things, it really, to me, it changes it, and it's a real good feeling, seeing all those smiles. So yeah, it's been fun. Even the Battlefish Top Guide, AJ, who runs Battlefish Charters down in upstate New York, Adirondacks area, he's a vet himself. Veterans Playbook, he actually had an episode on it. You can check that out. It's on, I believe, CBS. Season 1 has finished, but yeah, check AJ. He runs a guide business. It's really cool, and just listening to some of these new friends of mine, to be honest with you, it's super cool. Like, their stories, what they went through for their country. My hat's off to you guys. And I watch all of you who are inspired to want to do positivity and great things. And I had a really awesome weekend at Paul Smith University and college. Sorry. And at the end of the day, I won't lie, I was kind of bummed out to leave. I really wanted that to last longer, and it was cool. So if you do get a chance, on Instagram, go check out Battlefish Charters. AJ, if you're ever looking to go to upstate New York and you want to go fishing, whether that's fly fishing, the bass fishing, you name it, AJ takes you out. He also is a Jackson Kayak team member of mine. So yeah, Battlefish Charters. If you want to also go check out Fishing for Autism, you can check them out on Facebook and on Instagram, Fishing for Autism. Don't forget, the fine folks at Dubro have offered us a awesome discount of 10%. So it is, Run 10. So RRUN 10. Yeah, it's check them out. Dubro is just launching some new stuff at ICAST. It's definitely going to be worthwhile to check out. My last episode with Brian Schiller was super cool. He gave me some insight into what was going on with Duberl. So yeah, check him out. Now, for the folks over at Kayak Pass Canada, wow, we are just mowing through July. Super cool. Loads of big fish being caught. I'll be honest, like it's awesome going on and seeing everybody's catches. Just, everybody's like pumping up everybody. I see the friendly chirping going on between everybody, and so keep it up, guys. Like that's what these month-long challenges are about, right? Getting out on the water, having fun. It's a little competition within yourself, and only you have that challenge to make it. You're in control. If you want to go every day, but if you're just one of those guys who or girls that just when you got time you go and you have fun, that's cool too. That's what it's about. So but my guest this evening, you might know him as Antoine, or you might know him as the Eastern Kayak Angling. He goes by on social media. He's a member of the Team Canada. Recently did the Hobie World Fishing, which was and managed to once again surprise. Not really. I'll be honest with you, I'm not surprised, because like this guy is Antoine. Since I started following him in the local circuit, and his way into the States, and so I'm going to give you this. He is a absolute stick. He's a hammer, but he has some cool stuff. He's, Feel Free Kayak ambassador. He's also Canada Pro sales rep. So, we're not here to talk to me. Let's be serious. You come for the guests. And, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest, Antoine. Antoine, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, doing good. What an intro. I feel like a superstar. Thank you.
Well, you should. Like, let's be serious here, man. Like, you have. Well, before we get into it any further, how about this? I'll let you introduce yourself. Go ahead. You take the stage.
Yeah, I'm Antoine. I mean, you can say Antoine in French. I'm a French Canadian. I've been fishing from a kayak. This is my 7th season, I think. I've been fishing for a while. I'm 28 years old. I was born and raised in Sherbrooke, Quebec, which is about 90 minutes east from Montreal. We still live here. We just bought a house, me and my girlfriend, last year. And I'm just a fishing freak. I love the outdoors. I love being outside, and man, I just I love what you're doing. By the way, it's great. I love the podcast, and I'm super happy to be here.
You know what? That's that makes two of us. Because I'm really pumped about what you're doing out there on the big stage. Like whether it's a big stage, the local stage, Antoine. Like I'll be honest with you, man, and I do want to also say, like, Antoine, support for the Chio event. He turned it around, and he came all the way back up and fished the Chio event. And once again, what has he done? Once again, he has put himself on top. He is, and it's amazing. Like, as an angler, and I think this is the part where a lot of people, especially as in a tournament angler, an avid fisherman, somebody who is truly proficient in what they do, you have come time and time again and shown us, like, no matter what situation you get thrown in, like, you come out and, you come out, whether it's a top 10 or even, in the first, second, third, wherever, like, man, like, I gotta ask you, like, has this always kind of been for you a competitive, like I'll be honest with you, like I used to really enjoy doing tournaments, I do, but like I'm more of a angler who enjoys, the exploration. I like, adventure. I like
sure.
chasing new water, chasing fish on new water. I really enjoy tributary fishing, rivers, river smallmouth is my big thing. But I'll be honest with you, like, as I was growing up, I wasn't really all that competitive in that sense, like it's not always something that, we're born with. But for you, like in that sense, like, has this always kind of been something that you've been drawn to, like, or was it in the sense that you came into kayak fishing and you're like, you know what, actually, this is my jam right here, like, like.
Yeah, I guess so. When I've always played sports. When I was a younger kid, I was playing soccer. I played badminton, tennis. I played in a few sports team, and I've always been a pretty competitive guy. And when I heard about competitive kayak fishing, I was definitely interested in trying, and I got hooked right away. I believe my first kayak fishing tournament was 4 years ago, I think, in Quebec. It was called the Cat Junkie Tournament, just a friendly tournament. And this is where I met guys like Mig Sig, Remy Kerouac, and a few others. I made some good friends there, and I got hooked right away. And yeah, I never stopped since then. It's been just 4 years of hardcore kayak fishing, just driving.
You're definitely hardcore, my friend.
Yeah. All Quebec, Ontario, and down to the States.
Okay, so Ontario, let's go on to that for just a quick second. You have been on I want to say it was Black Donald.
So yeah, that was my first Ontario kayak tournament. There was the KAO and Black Donald. Yeah, and this is where I met Aaron, Serge, and Casey.
Very
We're
cool.
all launching from the same place. Yeah.
No, you. I would definitely say that was, like, even for me, that was my first kayak tournament, and it was impressive.
Yeah, man. No, I didn't know you were on Black Donald that time. But,
yeah, that was. I actually came out with Roberto.
Okay. Yeah. No, Roberto's a good dude too, and that was a fun tournament. I remember it was raining all day.
Yeah, dude.
The campground I was staying that night before, there's been a huge fire. There has been like an explosion, and or something happened. Something pretty bad happened. I couldn't sleep at all that night. So I showed up to the lounge, and Aaron was there, Serge was there, Casey was there, and I was sleepless, and I was like kind of anxious of
just to get out there on the water, like that's the important thing. But that was quite a night for you, though.
It was crazy. I couldn't sleep. Like, there was a huge fire. You had to get people out of the woods, and it was crazy. That was at Kellybogi's campground. I remember that.
I remember sleeping at the Black Donald RV or Black Donald Trailer Park, I think it was called, or RV Park Camp.
Yeah. Okay.
It was right on the lake. But yeah, so like when you're getting into this whole aspect, now that because after that, you started to, obviously grow within the sport in Ontario, and you really began to put a name for yourself, especially in OKBT. You fished a lot of the KAO events. You also you ran into the Team Brothers, on the Quebec side.
Yeah.
Like you really, and then I believe it was the Kayak Bassmasters series, and you once again hit the stage there in the top 10, man. Like,
yeah.
And you sat on stage with some pretty impressive like names in kayak fishing.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And like Greg Blanchard, like Mike Iaconelli, like,
yeah,
not a lot. Like, to me, like, and I'll be honest with you, I'm just, I'm an angler, and I followed Mike Iaconelli for years. I used to watch him on the Bassmaster, but to stand on the same stage as Mike Iaconelli, like such a proficient angler, has done the Bassmaster Classic, has won it.
Yeah, I know.
You are on the same stage, man. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean that was a dream come true. That was a couple of years ago in South Carolina. The Kayak Classic was on Lake Russell, and it was mostly about spotted bass. I was all on spotted bass, but some guys were fishing for largemouth as well. But no, that was an incredible trip. So we started the trip. It was late February, and we left home in a snowstorm. There was a huge snowstorm in Quebec, and we had the kayak on top of the car, and it was.
Oh.
So we started the trip in a snowstorm, and we got when we got to South Carolina, it was just like perfect weather all week. No clouds. It was nice, warm, nice warming trend. The fish were kind of moving up. Like all of a sudden, it was springtime, and just that itself was pretty cool. And the tournament itself was a success for me. And yeah, man, just to get walk on the big stage and live the Bassmaster experience, we were treated really well, and yeah, man, it was an incredible experience. It was a dream come. Yeah.
That was like a first, really, for kayak fishing in the Bassmasters, was it not?
I believe it was the second year.
Yeah, like it was fairly new.
Yeah.
But you had one, and like we could talk, about your international circuit. You're on your provincial, whether it's Ontario or Quebec, but like I gotta ask you, like, and I might already know this answer, but like, what is your favorite place to fish? You know what I mean? Like, is there a spot? Like you go everywhere, but is there one spot that like kind of at the end of the day really keeps that's my spot? That's to me holds something close.
That's a good question, man. I'm gonna say I don't really have one specific place. I love to travel around. I like to try different places all the time, and I get really bored about fishing the same areas.
Okay.
So I'll try different bodies of water every month, every week if I can.
No, that's I would say, like, somebody that enjoys traveling. Like for me, like I love new bodies of water. I love the idea to get out there. Just the whole car camping ability is great. Like, and just that some of those launches you go to, you're the only person there. Like it's super cool.
Oh yeah, well you can't beat that. Small back lakes are fun. It's fun when you show up and you're all alone at a ramp. I don't know, man. I just feel like if you want to grow as an angler, you have to fish different, new bodies of water as often as you can, really. And I just, this is what I like to do, I guess. I don't know. I just like
I think you're if you made a good point though, like when you grow as an angler, and you could probably really talk about this, is that if you look at where you started when you first got into kayak fishing to where you are now, like your personal development has really it might even exceeded your own expectations of where you thought you might be, yeah, it's you've really checked off a lot of boxes that I'm sure a lot of guys and girls might say, like, man, I would definitely love to sit where he is. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of work that comes into this, and
for sure.
That part too, a lot of people don't see, because at the end of the day, when you see when you see somebody who's won an event, you see somebody who's, consistently placing in the top 10, in the, we'll call it in the, cutting some checks, there's a lot that goes on behind that they don't see, but that's what the world sees, right? Like, I'm sure, if we even got into your latest, the Hobie, like how is that? Again, your Team Canada, you're representing the nation, something that you probably grew up never thinking you'd ever do. And when you think of kayak fishing, was that like, holy, is this going to be an Olympic sport next? Like, is this where we're heading? And so, like, what was that experience like? Like, you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, when I got invited to compete at the Hobie Worlds, I got told that it was the most prestigious kayak fishing tournament there is, and I got to tell you, it was true because I mean, we were treated like kings all week. Like, we had free dinners every day, free drinks. It was like a big party all week. It was just an amazing week. It was definitely, I mean, it was second to none. Like, it was super professional, and there was a special energy, a special vibe I felt like around the tournament. And yeah, man, and we got to fish Lake St. Clair for 5 straight days, which was a lot of fun. And one of the things I enjoyed the most was meeting people from all over the globe. There were people from China, from South Korea, Australia,
So cool, dude.
Spain, all kinds of different countries. And it was very special.
Now, in the last Hobie event, did you go to Sweden or?
No, I wasn't there. No.
Okay, so if I gotta ask, Lake St. Clair, what was that like? Was that your first time? Had been there prior? Did you kind of already have a game plan to this, or was this more like, I gotta get to my teammates, we're gonna strategize how we're gonna do this?
So it was my second time on St. Clair. I had only fished it once a couple of years back for an OKBT tournament. So I was pretty much almost new to the St. Clair, and I didn't reach out to anyone before the tournament because we were not allowed to, really. So I was trying to stick to the rules and just trying to figure it out by myself.
That is neat.
It was pretty challenging for sure, especially on a new kayak. I'm not familiar with the Hobie platforms and the 360 drive and everything.
Yeah,
but it was a learning curve.
How did you feel about that? Being a guy that's feel free kayaks, going to a Hobie. What were your thoughts on that, dude?
Yeah, man, it was definitely a learning curve. Hobies are amazing boats, and especially the 360 drive. I was very impressed. You can just turn on a dime. You really can. But I gotta tell you, man, like the first 5 minutes, that first day of practice, I was not comfortable out there.
No,
like everyone was gone, I was still, at the same place, just trying to figure out how to move. But no, it was funny, but I got used to it after a few minutes, and it kind of became a second nature.
Now like that would throw me for a curveball. Like, in all honesty, only because you, like, as an angler, like how many kayaks do you have? You have 2?
I got 2, yeah.
So I have 2 also, and I understand how both those work. I have them both rigged up to the ways that I like to fish.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going to like the Worlds and then being like, oh, hey, by the way, leave your boat at home. You're gonna try a Hobie, and this is what you're gonna fish out of for a week. Like, That would really throw me for a curveball, only because I like the whole time you got to think you're out there to fish. You're focused on, like this is the game plan, this is what I'm going to do, and then hey, by the way, yeah, how do I feel in the Hobie? Like, is this like kind of are things distracting me? Are things kind of throwing me for a curveball? Like, do I really understand the full workings? Like, and obviously, I'm not going to say like it's got to be pretty um, simple in the sense that it's you understand how the drive works, but still, like like that would kind of throw me a bit off, and especially being in you spend all that time to get there to fish, and then you kind of you have a whole new boat. Now, were you able to bring your own electronics, or did you
No,
have
so every competitor, we were, I believe, 50 competitors, 50 anglers, and everyone had the exact same setup. Like,
That's cool.
everyone had the same graph. We're all using Lawrence, I believe it was a 10-inch graph with sights. And I was not familiar with Lawrence either. I've used Garmin and Humminbird, so that was kind of a learning curve as well. But
Wow.
everyone had the same nets as well. So no, it was definitely fun, man. Like that first day of practice was all about getting comfortable with the with the boat and with the lake itself. And it probably took me about a couple hours to figure it out and be comfortable with it. But
Now,
it was
your ability to go out there and now you have a new kayak, you have a whole new system to learn of electronics. So how did you strategize your pattern? Like what, like, was there like a, your, just kind of walk us over like your actual like strategy to actually fishing this, like, what was your plan?
So like I said, I didn't have that much of a game plan going in. I knew everyone had a shot at winning this because it's St. Clair, late June. There's smallmouth everywhere. They could be shallow, it could be deep. They could be cruising around. But what I was looking for was mainly rock and individual patches of grass. So I was using the side scan on the Lawrence graph, and I was kind of marking a bunch of waypoints. I was moving around, and yeah, man, that was kind of my game plan. I was mostly looking for rocks. That's what I was most comfortable around, and I was able to find a few high percentage areas. I couldn't find a specific like isolated rock pile or rock line, but I found a a few good areas, and that's kind of how I put together a game plan for the tournament time.
No, that's when you think about it, you have a bit of an advantage because you're being a Canadian angler, smallmouth fishing in
Yeah.
Lake St. Clair is pretty big. Where if you're coming from Australia, China, somewhere else where large smallmouth fishing is probably not heard of. It was interesting to see how those other countries worked out at the same way.
Definitely, man. I was super impressed, and I mean, obviously, Jackie from Australia winning this championship was one of the most impressive wins I have ever witnessed. He was able to find an offshore rock pile. I think he was like way far. He was like almost down to the US side.
Oh wow!
I don't know how he found it. I wish I could have found a similar spot. But so yeah, I mean, someone from Australia, coming down here fishing for smallmouth for the first time and winning the Hobie World,
Yeah,
and I still can't believe it. It's amazing. But this is how St. Clair, plays out. It's everyone has a shot. It's just an amazing place.
and it also has an amazing class of anglers. Like,
Oh yeah,
these are the top in their countries. It is truly the time and it was really cool to see all that. And I remember following some of the other ones. But like on the side of things, when you obviously, like, huge congratulations, second place finish. That is that's really impressive, dude. And I think there's a lot of people in the community alone, like through the online community, through your community, your own community, paddling, fishing, kayak fishing. Man, that's pretty. That, like, when I seen that, I couldn't get over the amount of people who are just like, there's just so much positivity being thrown out there, not just for Canada, but just for all countries involved, and just seeing the US, and like, that's really cool, and it just goes to show you um how we can all come together, even though we might live on the other side of the pond, or south of the border. That's really cool, and I think that's also a great way where, like you said, you meet a lot of amazing people, and you make new friends that way, and those are memories that you'll never forget. And it's also becomes invitations to fishing new places, right? So
No, exactly. No, you said it. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you come from. I mean, if you're a good fisherman, you're a good fisherman. And it was, there was a very special vibe around the event itself. Everyone was just smiling and happy to be there, and it was a very special.
So is smallmouth fishing for you something that you drawn to more than largemouth fishing, or is it at the, like, are you like species orientated that way? Like, do you draw more towards fishing largemouth, smallmouth, or is it just, here's a body of water, and this is what I can catch?
Honestly, man, that's a tough one. I don't know if I could answer that one. That's one of the hardest questions you could ask me, because I don't really have a preference. I like both of them. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just no, I like both of them.
Yeah, man, and that's cool. Like, there's it's neat. I was curious to know that, because you seem to, like, in your tournaments, you do very successful in smallmouth fisheries. You do very successful in largemouth fisheries. You're showing you can go down to, like, the US, South Carolina, Tennessee. What was it? It was the KBF National Championships in, what was that, Tennessee, where you had gone down?
Yeah, that was on Lake Kentucky, Tennessee. That was a tough one, though. I was definitely struggling on Kentucky, but yeah, well, that was still a great experience.
Because now, aside from being like this pretty impressive kayak angler, and like also an amazing dude, like, you are the sales rep for Canada Pro Angling and Outdoors.
Yeah, correct. I'm the sales rep for the Quebec area. I mean, for the east region.
Okay. So what is, like, just curious, Canada Pro, like, that is, like, could you explain it?
We're a sales agency. Basically, what we do is we provide the product support and sales efficiency across Canada. We work with different manufacturers in the fishing, hunting, and outdoors industry. So basically, my job is to sell fishing and hunting products to stores.
Cool.
And present new products, present booking programs and all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm not allowed to sell to the public, but my job is to sell to buying groups, tackle shops and things like that.
Very cool. So you do a lot of traveling then, all in around, checking out. It's cool because you live and breathe it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a grind. It's definitely not easy, but I'm trying. I'm trying to succeed in this industry, and it takes time to build your relationships. But I love it. I love the people in this industry, and I believe I will be successful.
Oh, and I think you are like well, at the end of the day, like you're not you for one, you're a passionate kayak angler and you're very tournament orientated and driven to want to succeed, but at the same time, uh, you're you're working in the industry, and not a lot of people can say that they actually work in the industry. A lot of us have other jobs, that where this is something you truly live and breathing, kayak fishing as a whole, or just fishing, hunting, and yeah, I think that is really neat. um, Now, so with this idea too, now when you travel, so you're going to like little shops, big shops, like do you do like a sail, one of your Sail Outdoors Quebec, does that fall into Canada Pro or?
Yeah, sale stores are no, sale is one of my accounts.
Cool, very
Uh,
cool. Yeah, I used
we have,
to actually
yeah,
years ago used to work at Sail, so in
really
Ottawa. So that
nice.
was I've always liked Sail, and I think I was curious to know. So how did you end up getting, like, how does one get started? With Canada, like how did that happen?
I guess I got kind of lucky because the timing was good. I was unemployed at one point, which is probably not the best look, but I was looking for a job, and one of my buddies was the sales rep full time for Canada Pro in Quebec. But he found just a different opportunity, different job. So Canada Pro was looking for a new rep, and I was unemployed, and I guess I had the capabilities to get that job, and it just kind of, yeah, I mean, the timing was good, and they just kind of started from there. I don't know.
What kind of brands does Canada Pro like distribute?
Yeah, we have a lot of brands now, and recently we expanded in the hunting side. We have nano cases, hard cases built in Quebec for rifles, for all different kinds of applications. We have Sunline on the fishing side. We have long-term
Yes.
baits, Liquid Mayhem. We have Gill clothing. So now we have all kinds of different brands, some amazing brands that we work with, and yeah, I'm pretty lucky, pretty pumped.
Yeah, no, Sunline. That's I really like Sunline BFC. I think that is I for years used Seagar, and I still do because I have some in the garage. But the Sunline, I started using that. Oh God, like probably, geez, like four years ago, and man, like it's one of those lines that's never let me down. I've been pretty impressed, and I like the sizing it comes in, but it's Sunline itself, like it has so many different lineups. Like
Oh,
it's
man,
not just straight fluorocarbon here. It's like you have flipping, reaction, the sniper, it's finesse. Like
I know.
that's pretty cool, and it's neat too because is it on their website? You can go and like match the technique to the line that you're.
Maybe I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on their website, but maybe you could do that. But they got lines for every technique. They're super specialized. I mean, that's fishing line is all they do. They don't do baits, hooks. Like all of their money goes into fishing line. So they make it right.
No, that's yeah, like it's unreal how much they actually do have in that lineup, and even the plasma. I've never actually used the Sunline plasma before.
My favorite.
but
Yeah.
it is one I would like to try. What was the other one that I use? Oh, the Sunline Super Mono.
Yeah, the supernatural. Yeah, mono.
Yeah, Supernatural is I picked up some of that. Man, it's I've used it on spinning and casting, and out of any of the mono I've ever used, can't get over how well it manages on both spinning and casting, because it's like some fluorocarbons and some mono, it doesn't manage so nice on one or the other. Like, and I've ran anywhere from 8 to 14 pound, and
Well,
it handles well, and it's like I can't get over that, like memory wise, like some of those lines, like it's like, oh, you open up that bale, it's just like just dumps itself. Where that it's like it stays like it. Some line, I know price wise, people might say like it might be on the bit of the pricier end, but like I honestly would say, like, in my opinion, I think it's like worth every penny. And
absolutely.
So when you get into like your personal lineup, this also at the same time probably helps as an angler, because you're able to fish a lot of like I said, sunline, rod reels. I think at one point you were doing live target too.
Yeah, we were doing live target, but they got bought by Mustad, so we just kind of they took a different direction.
Yeah. And it's becoming a common occurrence, in the industry, where you're seeing a lot of these other companies buying into. Yeah. So, feel free kayaks. That's pretty neat. Was that something that you'd always like? Was that your first brand of kayak, or like how? Like you're a ambassador for Feel Free Kayaks, which is cool. So
yeah. I mean, so it all started from my father, which is funny. So my father is not a big angler. I mean, he probably fishes 3-4 times a year. So I believe it was like 7 or 8, maybe 8 years back, he bought a Feel Free Lure 11.5. And at the time, all I had was a float tube. So
oh, that's cool.
I borrowed the kayak for a few times, and I just freaking loved it. So I just decided to buy one myself, buy the exact same one, a Lure 11.5. It was 11.6 feet long, and that was my first kayak. It all started from there. I've beat the crap out of it for years. This kayak's been places. It took me to the Bassmasters in South Carolina, and all kinds of great trips. And then at some point, I just needed to upgrade. Have a bit bigger boat. And so the reason why I got in contact with Feel Free, I got to give a shout out to Laurent Dupré. He used to work at Kayak Junkie. So, and he's a pretty well-known character in Quebec. He's a funny personality, and he knows a lot about kayaks, especially fishing kayaks. So he's the one that put me in contact with Feel Free at first. And it just kind of started from there. I believe 3.5 years ago or something. I started to chat with Roland at Feel Free, a great guy, and they decided to bring me on board as the first Canadian ambassador for Feel Free.
That's super cool, dude. That's another one for the podcast. Like that's, man.
They are amazing people too. I feel so lucky to be with Feel Free, and we were talking about the KBF Nationals a few minutes ago. In Tennessee. So I remember being down there, and Jake and Kobe from Feel Free, they drove all the way from North Carolina. It was like a 10-hour drive or something. they drove all the way from North Carolina to Tennessee to give me a brand new Dorado V2 all for free, like with a new drive and everything. And they were like, they were, creating content. They were taking videos and pictures for like 3 or 4 days straight, and they were just, they were great guys. They are really taking care of me,
No,
it's
good to have.
Yeah, man, I feel very fortunate, and
especially when you have a brand like that. Like, you don't have that opportunity always, but you have that moment where you get involved with a brand. You're passionate about it. You really shine with it. You know what I mean? And then you have like that moment where you see just what somebody does for you. It also makes you feel probably like you're really part of the team. You know what I mean? Like, and I would say like the lineup of Feel Free Kayaks is pretty cool, especially their fishing kayaks.
Yeah, man, they're super underrated. I feel like they deserve more recognition and more love. And it kind of makes sense. It made sense to me to be with Feel Free because I was already familiar with the products. I love the products, and it was a no-brainer. When I got invited, to be a part of the team, it was just no hesitation.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So we have a host at Paddle and Finn, John Rapp. He is he's with Feel Free Kayaks.
Yeah.
I think
he's my team manager. He's like my boss.
Okay. Yes. There you go. Yeah. I'd seen him. I'd seen a post recently about that. And, no, that's cool. You guys ever fish together or?
No, we haven't. We met at ICAST. Was it last year? No, that was a couple of years ago. We met at ICAST, and he's a funny dude, and he's full of energy. And yeah, we haven't fished together yet, but hopefully, eventually we will.
So it's funny with John Rapp is when I first got started with Paddle and Finn. He's like, I got introduced to him, and he's like, yeah, man, like let's have a video call, and so here I am, in Cornwall, Ontario, and he's down in West Virginia, and we're like talking, and just hit it off, like he was really, really awesome guy, and once I got more into Paddle and Finn, like the guy is like just super, he's always helpful, he's always there, so I can just see as like a team lead for Feel Free, like he's got to be like right on point, you know what I mean? Like always there.
Yeah, he's at the right place, definitely. And he's been around for a long time. I believe he's been with Feel Free for 7, 8+ years, maybe 10 years. I don't know.
I think it was 10 years actually. The post was. So are you going to be ICAST happening this year for you?
No, it was starting today, but I'm not going to be at the ICAST this year. We decided that it was like, how can I say this? It wasn't like worth it. It's
yeah, for sure, dude.
They're pretty expensive trips, and we might just go every couple of years, I don't know.
It's probably an experience though. Like once you've done it, like industry wise, it's the the Oscars, the Grammys of fishing. You know what I mean? Like it's where awards are given out, and you continue to see the big names, and people are obviously mingling and social networking, and so. Yeah, I think it would be a cool experience to try out one time.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that,
but not for work. Just go for fun and get to fish.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Just go down there for fun and check it out. And I don't know, maybe make a family trip out of it. I'm really not sure. I'm sure my son would just like lose his mind in there. Well, his dad would too. So, but no, I wanted to ask you though. Now, like. what's next? Like what's happening next with you? Like, do you have any, are you like what's your schedule for the summer looking like? Are you doing tournaments? Are you you got more adventures on the way? Do you plan to hit the States more?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a few tournaments coming up. So my next one is August 10th. I'll be fishing that new series, that the class on the classic kayak fishing series by Adam Fraser.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
love the format. There's no motors, there's no live scopes. It's kind of back to basics kind of series. But I mean, my biggest tournament.
Where is that one? Sorry, just cut you off.
This is gonna be on Mora Lake. I don't know if I'm
okay, yeah.
So you're looking forward to that one, definitely on August 10th. But I've got one big tournament coming up in September. The Pan American Games. They call it the third Pan American Kayak Fishing Championship on Lake Murray in South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
So this is gonna be a pretty cool one. It's gonna be a different format as well.
Is this similar to the one you did in 2023? Is it that kind of it's CISA?
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of similar, but just a different format. So the event will be targeting. I've got the sheet in front of me. So the event will be targeting black bass, so largemouth and spotted bass, and striped bass. So basically, the anglers will measure and submit their top 3 black bass and their top 2 striped bass.
That's cool.
It's going to be a 3-day tournament. So yeah, it's going to be a different format. It's going to be interesting for sure. I'm not used to fish for striped bass. So,
well, have you ever caught a striped bass before?
I caught, I believe, 3 striped bass in my life, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, I think I to be honest with you, I think you're going to. I think the look says, like, I think you got a plan. You're strategizing. I can see it, man. I can see it. Now that's pretty cool. Now, do you know who you're gonna be with there, or is it like how many do you like? Is it how many people are on Team Canada for this one?
So I don't know if I'm allowed to
if you're not allowed to say it, that's
maybe
okay
it doesn't matter at all. I don't know, but we'll be 6 anglers.
6 anglers, okay, cool. Lake Murray County, September 26th to September 29th. So that's and now do you so you got that coming up? Work wise, are you going to be? You're obviously all over the place with that, hey?
I mean, work wise, I'm going to be, September is going to be busy with fishing bookings. Man, September is going to be so busy because I've got 4 tournaments in September, and 2 of those tournaments are 2-day events. And then I've got this big one in South Carolina. So I'm gonna be swamped in September. That's for sure. So I'm gonna be traveling all over Quebec to secure the fishing bookings for 2025, and hopefully sell a bunch of tackle shops and hunting.
Cool, very cool.
It's gonna be
now. Is Canada Pro a Quebec, or does that follow across Canada?
No, so they're Ontario based in Toronto.
Cool.
So we have a rep in Winnipeg, so he's covering that area. We have a rep in Ontario, and then we have me in on the east side.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Now, are you I just want to touch on one of the tournaments that you were talking about, that new classic kayak tournament series. That's pretty neat, I have to say. I do enjoy the format of it, kind of getting back to the basics, because maybe when you began fishing, it wasn't all just electronics and everybody with their head down watching the graph. We were learning to read water and follow a plan and a pattern. I think it's really cool what he's done, bringing that together. And it looks like in the recent one, he had a pretty solid turnout, and it looks like some big fish were caught. And I think at the same time, it gives people what they want to hear. That hold on a second. There you go. I apologize. I'm having a slight issue with my mic. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, man. Am I echoing at all?
No.
Okay, cool. So I don't know what's going on, but if I cut out, I apologize. If I go backwards, like when all the tournaments are going forward and kayaks, motors, and all this are becoming more and more frequent, you got live scope and and then you got this new series that comes in and says, hey, by the way, like we're keeping it old school. Like that's cool. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm pretty happy for Adam. He's a good friend of mine, and he, I think it's been a vision of Adam for years now. He's wanted to start his own series for a long time. So we finally make the move this year, and no, it's fun to see this type of series around. Keeping it old school.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I really do. I think as much as there are people, and there's nothing wrong with it, like for motors and like you get in these crazy setups now. Just having a tournament that's very basic like that, like it kind of reminds me of like I don't think there's too many tournament series right now that don't allow motors. And I think, what is it, Team Brothers, they don't allow motors, right?
No, they don't. No.
Yeah, but like I think OKBT, they are motors.
They definitely allow it. So
Kayak, the Bassmaster Kayak series in Ontario is motors.
Yeah, they do as well.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure most of the even your recent trip to not your recent trip, but you did a trip in the springtime, I want to say, with Christian Gervais, Remy Kirak, and Stefan
Blay.
To New York, which is cool. New York's one of my favorite places to fish. I absolutely love upstate New York. I was down there recently doing some stuff, got a chance to fish some rivers that I had never, and a lake that I never got to fish. Just kind of following things on the map on the way home. Was like, I'm gonna stop here, and like, man, it was cool. But yeah, no, New York is super. But once again, you probably see like everybody's got like a motor, and electronics are super, because that's that's the elite series, the elite kayak series, which is, I believe, run by Ken Wood.
Yeah, and a couple other guys. I think it's called the Elite Kayak Fishing Series.
Yeah, it's cool. I think they have one on last year. I remember a Jackson teammate of mine reaching out about fishing the St. Lawrence River, and they were going for the Elite Kayak Series in I think it was out of Clayton, New York.
Okay,
I believe so. No, that's cool. That, but at the same time, you're going to be having this busy schedule, but just out of curiosity, if you had to give somebody some advice, like somebody who's coming new into the sport, who's, and guys who are looking to maybe, or guys or girls looking to fish tournaments, do you have any advice? And, do you have just, what would you say to them? Like, how would you approach that question?
Um,
I hate to put you on the spot there. I apologize, my friend.
I mean, if you want to become a better angler, a better tournament angler, I guess, or just don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. Just go out there. Don't be afraid to put yourself in in tough conditions. In tough spots.
Yeah, get uncomfortable, right? Get out
Yeah,
of your comfort zone. There you go.
exactly. Get out of your comfort
Yeah.
zone. Try different things. Don't be afraid, and just keep an open mind as well. Every day is different. Every body of water is different. And this is one of the things I like the most about fishing is like every single day is a new puzzle. Like it's crazy, and there's always a little change, little things that changes all the time, and just keep an open mind.
That's now, like, that's funny you say about the puzzle. That's very well put. Now, do you do any of the, like, do you do onlines or any monthly challenges like that? Because you have in the past, as I remember, but I don't know if you do them anymore.
I'm not really an online, tournament kind of guy. I don't do any onlines right now.
That's cool.
I love the the real live tournaments. That's
And would you say, to any new angler is, your opportunity to actually go to these events, sign up, go out there, fish, that's where you're going to gain the experience, right? Like, good chance you are going to fail, good chance you are going to succeed, but either way, you're going to walk away with experience. And that's something that you've learned over the years too, probably, is that, you've gone to a lot of places where, you've done amazing. And then you've gone to places where it was like, man, what is going on here? Like, I can't figure out, A to Z. And like, I've tried everything, it is one of those things. You, as an angler, grow, now. Just one more last part for the Team Canada part, but when you came home, like what you had mentioned that you and your girlfriend, you have a house, whatnot, and she was there at the Chio event, which was super cool. Always, we like, especially at that, to see, family members, spouses, come out and support, not just their spouse or their, brother, sister, whatever, just come out and have fun and support the event. But like, you win that, and then like I gotta say, like, did you get like a million phone calls? Like, was there just like this, as you put it online, I'm sure people are just like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? People watch the leaderboard, that your ability, at the end of the day, to even, like, you must be exhausted. You traveled, you fished, you might even be a little bit like socially exhausted because you just, shook hands with so many people, and then you come home and it's like, so like what, like, it's like, I'm going to have to get right back to wherever I left off. I got work, I got this, like, man, how do you do it? Like, how do you do it? Energy drinks, coffee, like, what is this?
I don't know, man. I love it. I live and breathe it, and I mean, being, my girlfriend's been a big help. She's been a great supporter. She's always, she's always make sure that I'm ready to go. She's making me, food. All my clothes are always ready to, before the tournament. And I don't know, man. I just love it, and it just
actually,
I don't know.
There is one part too. Any tips for a traveling angler that you could give? Like,
I mean, try to eat healthy as much as you can. It's I'm definitely far from perfect. I do stop sometimes at fast foods, but trying not to do it too much. if you can, my advice would be trying to keep it, try to eat healthy, and yeah, that's very important. I guess that would be my advice. Yeah.
So, do you have a ritual or anything that you do before you get out on the water that day? Like, is there anything that before you launch, like Antoine sits there, has a moment, of silence for himself, or like, is there anything like, how do you get in this mindset, man? Like,
I don't.
Just shut it all. You just keep it going, eh?
I do. Like, I don't have a ritual, but I get so focused, and I really in my head, I get in my own head, and I get kind of in a zone, I guess. When I fish for fun, I like to be with friends, but when I pre-fish for a tournament, like don't even talk to me, because I'm focused on the next game. But I don't have any rituals or anything.
I think that's almost, there's a lot of athletes that would say that too. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm here to do. Like, I'm focused right now, and you're to be away from me, please. Like, I need this. This is my time right now.
Yeah.
I honestly think that you are quite an impressive angler. And as we come into this hour that has just flown by, like, this is, this has been a lot of fun, man. And I have to say, I've been waiting a long time to sit down and chat with you. And I think this is such a unique moment too, for the podcast to get, one of the Team Canada members. I would really like to do an episode with, if I can get on a couple of you, just, kind of get you guys all together. Because it's funny, I had Jamie Stevenson on, and I said the same thing. I was like, after it, I want to have you guys on. I want to talk about this, because the Team Canada is making history right now. You know what I mean? Like, and the more and more, like, it goes on, and you guys just your camaraderie together. So it's super cool, dude. So that's why I was like, Antoine D.G has to come on the Eastern Kayak Angler. But yeah, man, like, at the end of this, I did want to say, I appreciate you coming on. And if you have anybody you'd like to shout out, let people know where to find you on the socials, I will make sure to have that all linked down in the description. But yeah, I'll let you take the stage.
All right. I mean, my girlfriend has been a huge supporter. She's my main sponsor.
That's good.
My family, but I gotta say, everyone who's following me on social media, it's the amount of support I've had in the last couple of years. It's been pretty cool. It's been pretty special. It's when I'm far from home, and I'm, it's not always easy. Like, it's fun, but when sleeping in your car, sleeping in when I'm far from home and I get messages and comments on my Facebook posts or just personal messages, it does give me that extra energy. It really does.
Yeah, it's uplifting for sure.
Just like, man, you gotta, like, just give it all. Awesome, and like, so I gotta say thanks to everyone, just supporting me, online and in person. Yeah, it means a lot, man. It really means a lot.
No, that's awesome. Now, for the folks that can find you on social media, where would they find you? You have Facebook. You said you had Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not a big social media kind of guy, but you can find me on Facebook on Eastern Kayak Angling. I do have Instagram as well. Once in a while, I post something on Instagram, and I do have a YouTube channel too. So yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Eastern Kayak Angling, and just give it a little follow, a little like, and if you want to, follow my adventures,
I'm sure there'll be lots of people who want to follow your adventures and see all of the amazing things that you're doing. Well, I just want to say thank you very much, man, Antoine. I really appreciate you coming down onto the River Run podcast. It has been this has been a lot of fun, and we're gonna have you back on, and we're gonna have to chat about techniques, or we're gonna have to talk a little more about some sunline, or just wherever, or God, it'll be your next success of on the big stage. But from me, man, I do wish you all the best in your travels and your adventures. I always love seeing all your stuff online. Yeah, so man, once again, thank you very much for stopping on by the River Run. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, geez, I gotta say, Antoine, the man, he is. I'll be honest. I've been waiting for this episode, and it was really cool how it all lined up with his finishing at the Hobie fishing world, and man, that was cool. That was fun. And you heard it. You go follow him, guys. Antoine, check him out. Eastern Kayak Angling is social media. Check him on Instagram, Facebook, and he said YouTube. So anybody who's technique wise, are you looking to get into tournaments? This is the type of guy you want to follow. This is the type of person you can learn from. Antoine is not only a Canadian kayak angler, he is an ambassador to the sport of kayak angling, and especially an ambassador for tournament kayak fishing, and its full spectrum. He continuously, this side of the border in Canada and in the US, continues to show his talent. And yeah, so no, that was really cool. Also, look forward, I'll link it all down in this description for Antoine's socials. Check him out. And once again, I did want to say thank you very much for stopping on by the River Run. I look forward to chatting with you all soon. Don't forget, Paddleton has an amazing lineup of shows. Check them out. The River Run, don't forget, is on Instagram, the River Run podcast. You can also check out the River Run podcast page on Facebook. It is up and running. Give me a little bit. I'm going to get it going a little more, but yeah, it's a start. We're making our step onto social media too. So I appreciate all the likes, share, comments. Don't forget, you can watch this also on the River Run Fishing YouTube. Check me out there. It's up there. That's another area where it will stream. Enjoy. Take care. I look forward to seeing you all soon on the next episode of the River Run podcast. I'm Adam Fraser, your host. Have a good